Todi
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
Tingadi,
Senzeni, what shall we do? Oh, Todi
Senzeni,
what shall we do? Tingadi, Senzeni, what shall we do? Oh, Todi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do? Tingadi, Senzeni,
what shall we do?
oh, Todi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
Tingadi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
Zinrat say kurera rufumu maoko ngadi winao utachiwana. Zinrat say kurera rufumu maoko ngadi winao utachiwana. Vaza pabata pamurere pasina raramo ngadi winao utachiwana. Vaza pabata pamurere pasina raramo
Jani winao utachiwana.
Oh, Todi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
Tingadi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
oh, Todi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
Tingadi,
Senzeni, what shall we do? Oh, Todi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do? What shall we do?
Tingadi,
Senzeni,
what shall we do?
Zinu what say kurera rufumu maoko ngadi winao tachiwana. Zinu what say kurera rufumu maoko ngadi winao tachiwana. Vaza pabata pamurere pasina raramo ngadi winao utachiwana. Vaza pabata pamurere pasina raramo ngadi winao utachiwana. Oh, Todi, what shall we do? Senzeni,
What shall we do?
oh, Todi, what shall we do? Senzeni, what shall we do?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're singing one more song kabla tu wende for a break. Wangapi mnajua Raylon? Raylon. Papa Wemba. Machozi yangu yote na malizika, niye utalala na nani? We unaenda mie mpaka ni mawazo, mie mpaka ni kuwazawaza. We unaenda kama ile njia yako enda, kama ni maisha yako fuata. Wewe dada, Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Sing with me. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Mpaka ni mawazo, ama unaniacha kama wewe unaenda, Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Mie mpaka ni mawazo, ama unaniacha kama wewe unaenda, Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way. Ziki meshika kabisa.
Civic.
Rail on, rail on, rail on, seems that's the way.
Raylon, 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 seems that's the way. Raylon, 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 seems that's the way. Raylon, 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 seems that's the way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Pinto Band. And one of our themes today is to celebrate our rich culture. And in our culture, apart from the food, the clothes, we also have the music, our African music. We say thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Now I'll want to take you through recognizing our Yali alumni who are in the house. So all Yali alumni, you're going to stand where you are so that we can see you. We can appreciate you for that wonderful experience that you got from this program. All the Yali alumni, I would love you to stand where you are so that we can recognize you, so that that young girl, that young man who is here after this session or during networking session can come to you and also you share your authentic stories on how they can actually experience. Because I always say Yali is not just training, is actually an experience. So with, I would love you, all of you, the Yali alumni, to stand where you are. Yes, I can see you, Biabu, I can see you, Rahim. I see you all, Hadija. Let's stand where we are so that our young people can see us. And inshallah, after this, they'll come to you and you guide them through the journey. Thank you so much. Let's clap for them. Thank you so much for that wonderful. All right. You'll say that, why are they few? And all of us here are not Yali alumni. I would love to tell you that we are so many, and this program is actually designed to create awareness so that you can know Yali exists and how you can be able to apply. That's why I want to tell you are in the right place, and you will be inspired by the end of this. So I'll also will share stories, inspiring stories of Yali alumni. It's going to be screened. But before that, I would love to share mine. Okay? I would love to share how I got to be a Yali alumni. I applied for this program for over 3 times. Yeah, anytime that I used to apply, I used to be rejected. Like, okay, thank you for applying, but we'll consider you in our next cohort. I applied for almost 3 times until the 4th time is when I got selected with the help of my mentors, Biabu and Amani Katana. They truly, and also Rahim, they truly helped me in the application process. What I can tell you is the process is not an easy one, yeah, because you're competing with people from East Africa. And if it's Mandela, Washington, you're competing with people all over Africa, all parts of Africa. You can imagine how competitive that program is. So when you apply, you have to be somebody who is not going to give up anytime soon, because you might be rejected or you might be accepted, yeah, depending on how much you actually gotten the mentorship. Yes, I had the right mentors. I had the right people who kept pushing me. But I did not give up, and I experienced that joy. Yes, I am still applying for Mandela, Washington. That I've been rejected, but yet I'm not giving up because I know that I'll be accepted one time soon. And I want to tell you that from today, hence, when you come from this program, just ask how we are doing applications. We are here. We can be able to help you and mentor you throughout this journey. So right now, we are going to, the screen is going to be shared on the story of alumni so that we can hear them as we progress with our day. We are sharing the screen.
The idea that maybe I should actually manufacture solar refrigerators locally here. And also 2019 COVID hit. I will never forget 2019. But then also in 2019, I attended Yali. I told you, yes, I attended Yali in 2019.
Oh, you joined
Yes,
the
yes,
Yali
yeah.
RNC.
Yes, yeah, in Nairobi. So the submission that I made for Yali was on Cool Green campaign that I've done and installed, and I was trying to see how Yali can actually help me advance Cool Green campaign. But then I also told them that I founded an NGO, Drop Access NGO, that provides clean energy solutions. So when I applied for Yali, I had so many concepts running. As you can tell, like so many things are happening all over the place. And I got accepted into Yali in 2019.
It's interesting how you were able to pick up your experience from working in a kitchen
Oh, yes.
and bring it into like an entrepreneurial
Yeah.
part of things.
Yeah.
So coming to Yali before you say your parting shots.
Yes.
So you said you joined Yali 2019.
Yes.
Tell me about your Yali RMC experience.
Oh my goodness, I was so naive, but so full of life. I think to me, being part of Yali RLC was a very big shot to shoot then, because I didn't have a job that was just so stable. I didn't really feel that we could actually get into this amazing program. I also did feel like I had solutions that were actual and so meaningful then. Like I was like, who will actually look at this concept that we're developing here? Who will look at us like trying to impact farmers? So when I applied Yali for the first time and I got it, I think it was just a game changer. I was so excited, but then also so scared, because I was feeling they saw me, they chose me, so I can't really let them down. So during my 30 plus days at the RLC, I really just put in my best. I tried to network as much as possible, learn what other alumni and cohort mates were doing, to see ways of how we can collaborate. I really took up design thinking to my core, and I thought this is what is going to change, and it truly has changed my life. And I remember just being so amazed by how the program could just take various people from all over East Africa, bring them all together. I felt small and big at the same time. I felt small because the people who were doing really amazing things were so much more bold than I felt like I could be. But then I put in really my best. I participated maximally. I contributed my opinion. I spoke boldly of what I thought the energy sector should be, what social inclusion meant for me, what gender inclusion meant for me, what just inclusion meant in general. And to me, my inclusion was moral engineering and morally engineering solutions that really just ensured that nobody was being left out. And I think I had a lot of learning. It was such a steep learning curve for me, just knowing what's happening in Uganda, what's happening in other countries. Like how can what's happening there be used as a best practice learning point to what I do in Makedo, in Makweli County. And it was a very, very enriching period. I had moments of being overwhelmed because there's so many teachings and learning that was going on. I was like, oh my God, I will never do this. I will never really create the change that I see people doing, or even what I'm expected to do here. But then I also had the moment of just really being grateful that I had been selected to join part of this program. And when I left Yali, I think, oh my Lord, I had changed so much in my mindset, in my thoughts. I wanted to do so much for my community. And I went back to a community that had not changed at all. They had not gone through Yali. It was so frustrating. Trying to teach them design thinking is something that we need to embrace, or even trying to teach them we need to be inclusive. We need to look at things differently from my learners at Yali. But this community did not understand why is this girl behaving like this. I was quite frustrated at first before I slowly just learned that at the end of the day, I'm a change maker. I can't just push this change to people. It will break them. And I realized that I had to be the leader at this point to communicate this change that the community needs to embrace, but then also communicate to them in a way that does not break them, but onboard them to actually follow suit. So I had to be the exemplary leader who implements the change first to let others emulate and copy. And I think that really helped me also with coping with the newness of I have all this energy, but the environment is the same. But then during my time at RLC, I really made a lot of friends. from my cohort from different countries, and we keep a close contact. I've been able to work with some of them on various projects. Some have actually helped me build my company by doing like posters for community events that I had, or even we collaborate to do mentorship and community talks, which is really, really important, because then it's not really a program that ended when we left each other at KU, but then it's a continuous impact development for people who've been impacted by Yali to now in the world. So I'm close to some of key members who are in my cohort from Yali. We keep close contact with each other. We are like sounding boards for each other of new ideas, of new concepts that we're introducing, and even just helping each other fundraise for our various work, which to me is very, very important, because then the cohort really just gave me friendship that just go beyond the ordinary friendship, but then impactful friends that help me build the impact that I envision.
Yeah, and through Yali, have you been able to interact with fellows from other exchange programs?
Yeah, through Yali, I've been able to interact with fellows. Yeah, sure, fellows from other exchange programs like MWF. I have also so many friends and networks in MWF. Through Yali, I met somebody who I briefly partnered with to do a project, a water project in Makini County. He's called what's his name? Currently, he's the CS for trade in Makini County. Gosh, I forgot his name.
You can just refer to him by his title.
Yes, yeah, he's currently the CS for trade in Makini County, and I remember at the time we were actually trying to get his company then to do solar water pumping solutions for large scale in Makoni County, starting with farmers, and we were able to develop concepts. Some of them actually went through some funding programs, then we all went our separate ways. So I think that there was also just so much opportunities to also just drive impactful change from the cohort and the network from Yali. But then also through Yali, I also was able to get into the Tech Women program, because a Yali alumni actually introduced me to the Tech Women program and helped me with my application, reviewed it, and also referred me for the Tech Women program. And I'm also an alumni of the Tech Women, thanks to me.
Oh wow, so you got to go to Silicon Valley.
Oh yes, I went to Silicon Valley.
Okay, tell us a bit about that.
Oh my god, Silicon Valley is mind blowing. All the tech that you envisioned, like 90% of it, I think possibly are born in Silicon Valley. So it's a fast-paced environment. People are so brilliant. The mindset there is just all about innovation. How do we translate this innovation into meaningful businesses, but then also impactful businesses? So to me, Silicon Valley was just a very enriching program. I was actually being mentored at Berkeley Lab, the Berkeley Energy Lab, that is based in Berkeley, next to the Berkeley University. And my mentors are still my friends till date. They help me out with the mentorship at Drop Access, with refining Vaxbox to be a better product. Some of them are engineers, some of them are just social entrepreneurs. So I really learned so much from the connection that I made in Silicon Valley. I think the biggest thing that I'm truly, truly, truly grateful for Yali is teaching me design thinking. You see, all these things I was doing, what was lacking at the core of it was design thinking. Just learning how to empathize sufficiently, but then also letting the communities drive the solutions that they truly need, and I am, in my privilege perspective, are able to deliver the solutions to them. So I learned design thinking, and I went back to the drawing board. How do we design think through solar pumping solutions and through solar refrigeration? So the first fridge concept that I drew in my notebook, and for some reason I can't find that notebook, was actually through design thinking. And I remember talking to farmers again. How do you envision solar cooling? How do you envision a solar refrigerators? They told me, we want a solar refrigerator, we can actually use at home, collect milk, but then also you can also take it to the cooperative. Then I thought portability is a very great concept about it. We want a small solar refrigerator because they thought small is cheaper. So they were like, okay, fine, that also marries into portability. But then the solutions in the market that are available off the shelf are not that small to the scale that they actually truly need it. These families are not so large. Somebody has like 3 cows, they get like 10 liters. So they needed something in the range of a small solution that still just meet their needs, but then it's also affordable and also portable. So the first portable fridge development and the design was actually meant for farmers. And during this period, I attended Yali, learned design thinking, did a lot of interviews with farmers, with people in the communities, even household, because I thought this is a solution that can actually be used in the houses. Interviewed so many people, and through design thinking, we were able to come up with truly this solution needs to be portable. It needs to be mounted on the motorbike and the bicycle, as by what they asked. It must be driven by solar because these guys do not have electricity. But then also it must be affordable and accessible and rugged, given all these places that we're going to, some places they just no roads. So the first design for a portable solar fridge was actually meant for farmers. So the country went into lockdown early 2020. Yes, early 2020. And I remember in Feb 2020, I was supposed to travel to the UK. My first international travel. Yes, I was a finalist for a program called Booking.com Technology Playmaker Award. I'd actually submitted to them the concept that I'm building a portable solar fridge, and they were so excited about it, and I was a finalist. So we were supposed to travel to the UK to pitch and then to win an award. Then, oh my God, after booking my flight ticket 3 days later, the country was put on a lockdown. Actually, UK was the first to say, we are not receiving flights, nobody can come into the country. Then Kenya was like, yeah, we have to also follow suit. Things just happened so fast, and I never really got to travel to the UK to attend, or rather pitch at the Technology Playmaker Award. Everything was done virtually. I didn't win, but then actually it just made me realize, oh my God, the solutions and the ideas that I have are actually award winning, and I should possibly pursue them.
Hello. Hi guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. My name is Rachel Wainaina, and I'm here with Kenya's best innovator, also a 2014 Mandela Washington Fellow. Inspired me for years, and I think, Maurice, you actually inspired me even before we went to Yali. I was so inspired by your story, making the speed governor, and now just to see that you've grown and your company to an 8 billion, company in Kenya. The only company that is leading in IoT in Africa and more. So we are so excited to be here, and we'll be listening to the entire story of Maurice Mbetsa. And one of the things I want to say is that when you see someone making it in life, it takes time and a process. And our story today will be going deep into looking into the process or the making of the man we now call Maurice Mbetsa. Karibu sana to the interview. And maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Raised in Kenya in a place called Mombasa, in a small village called Mariakani. And my background is in electronics. I started designing electronics way back when I was, I think, like 6 years old. And growing up, I grew up with a single parent. Actually, even the single parent was at some point not there, so I was raised by my grandmother. And I grew up in a very small village where we didn't have electricity, so I developed passion whereby I had to passion with technology, and I had to create everything. So I did a lot of innovation, not just for the innovation's sake, but also to survive, because we didn't have electricity. So I had to build my own light, because at that time, remember, you sleep with a kerosene lamp. When you wake up in the morning, when you look at it, like touch your nose, there's a lot of soot. So I had to start innovating on lighting, on battery, on solar, on mobility, because we didn't have, we used to walk very long distance to go to school. Security, so that's the environment that I grew up with, and it shaped the kind of a person I am today, because I learned on innovating according to the environment. Like any challenge that I used to face growing up, I used innovation and technology to be able to solve that, and that's how I became the innovation that I am today, and that's where I would say the foundation of numeral IoT.
Oh, that's interesting.
in a small village called Mariakani. It's the coastal part of Kenya, and so that side there are places where there was electricity, but where I grew up, there's no electricity, no roads. So for me to go to school, we had to walk like almost 10 kilometers to go to school. Electricity completely off, no mobile phones, no computer, no TV. I think the first time that I watched TV, I think when I was like 6 or 7 years, and from neighbor's house, not even. So even a house that I would say that we owned that had TV. I think had cleared my primary school. I think almost cleared my high school. So surviving when the other people that I was growing up with, they saw challenges in life in terms of the hardship. For me, I saw an opportunity for me to be able to create. So each and every challenge that I went through when I was growing up, I created a solution in terms of like innovating around that. And as well because I was young, no resources. So, and that really played a key role to what the company has become today, because for example, let's say you don't have light, so you need to innovate and be able to create electricity, but also you don't have the resources for you to be able to build that particular solution. Now, you have to first innovate the process and use whatever is available for you to be able to create that innovation that you want to create. So first, the process, because you have no resources, then also now the innovation itself, whereby for you to be able to bring to develop the solution you have. And I think the skills that I developed growing up with that kind of hardship and that kind of mentality, whereby you don't need to have everything for you to be able to build a good product. And you don't, you can, for me, I feel there's always a solution to any problem. As long as you put in the right mindset, you're able to be able to, you can be able to solve many problems. So with that mindset, it helped me to be able to develop a unique way of solving problems in terms of doing big solutions with limited resources, and that played a key role to what the company has become today, because what we have achieved today, no single company has achieved in Africa.
Wow. And I wanted to say, like, what would you say, who would you say was your inspiration? Like, did people used to find you normal, like when you were growing up, like when you were 6, and you're discovering these things, like you're innovating? Were you supported by did you have a support system, or was it just you in your own world, and then everybody else calling you mad? I'm just curious.
So funny enough, in my family, nobody used to think like the way I used to think. Nobody created. And I remember when I started doing innovation, because the whole, initially, nobody believed in the things that I was building. But then later, when they saw I have an idea and then I implemented it, and then they see it working. So my village now used to like come to me for solutions. Let's say if somebody's radio has a problem, they used to bring it to me for me to be able to do the repairs. But initially, they never believed in what I was building. But then, that time, I remember someone told me that they've seen people from West and from where, they'll tell you, you know what, Maurice, we've seen someone who has built an aeroplane and they're nowhere. You see, that time, you remember you've had a lot of innovation coming from Kenya. But then, after a year, that person is in the same village, and there's no much steps that in terms of the welfare of that person. So the thinking was, no matter what, you are not better than anybody else. You'll just innovate these things, na utabakia, you'll stay where you are. So I also wanted to prove people wrong, whereby I want to become a different kind of an innovator, whereby I will build these solutions, and I will also be the first one to bring a change, and also to inspire other young people and show them the way. Because for me, when I think about innovation, for example, if it's in music, if you're an artist, you create a song, you go to studio, you record, you take it to a radio station, they play, and then you become famous. If you're a footballer, you play. But if you're an innovator, you want to build a mobile phone, there's no like clear path for you to be able to follow, for you to become successful, because nobody has done it in your village, nobody has done it in your county, nobody has done it in your country. So when I was doing this, I said, this is what I want to do with my life. This is what I've chosen to do with my life, and I will prove people wrong, and I will be the first person to be able to bring these ideas into reality, and as well create a path for other young people to follow, because nobody's doing it. And then even in school, if you go to ask, I want to create a product, even my lecturer or my teacher has not created something like that before. So there's nobody to advise you. So I used to read a lot of books. I remember when I was 6-7 years, I used to read physics books for university, for high school, and I would understand what these, like the concepts that are in these books. And as I was growing up, left my village, I came to Nairobi, I joined Kenya Poly. And I was in Kenya Poly for only 3 months and then dropped out. Simple because I felt the institution, the way the institution was at that time, a lot of improvements have occurred over the years. But that time, I felt out of place, because for me, I believe education is not there to convert your brain into file cabinets just to store the information. You're supposed to get that information and use it to be able to solve problems that in our society. So when I was there, I remember that time I had an idea. I wanted to create a device whereby I would be able to monitor vehicles, control your vehicles using mobile phone. And then when I ask questions about particular parts, so in year 1, I'm told no, that is year 6. So I felt there's no way that I'll stay in an institution, wait for 6 years for me to get knowledge so that I can implement it in what I wanted to do. So I left, I read online. So I read everything, and I've done a lot in terms of my industry, and everything I learned from just doing research online, not gone through like I would say an institution, because I felt the way institutions were at that time, and even now some institutions, I feel they make students to go out and seek employment, not create jobs. And also in terms of the industry that we are in now, because if you look at technologies changes, tech changes every year, even cameras. Today you have this version, next year you have another version. Same thing with life. Today you're here, tomorrow another technology has come, Android, you name it. Every day there's upgrades for software for mobile phones. That means even our institutions have to upgrade every year and be able to teach students what is relevant that will make them, I would say, when they go to the job market, that they'll be able to take value to the job market. So these are some of the challenges that I went through right from growing up, high school, when I tried to join a technical institution. But I thank God, because what I dreamt about when I was growing up, what I wanted to achieve, I feel that I have Kenya, I want to take it across Africa, and to inspire as many young people as possible to come into tech and to do what we are doing.
Okay. So Morris, umetuambia vitu mzuri sana kuhusu like college life, which I really believe in, and the way you came from now the village, and from your scope, you started with your scope at home in Mombasa, and came to Kenya. Now you're in Africa, and I wanted to know about when is all this happening? Like when, like what time, like so that you can visualize. What time was your primary to let's say university? It's not university, technical university.
Yes.
It was mwaka gani? Maybe you can tell us from like that period,
Yes.
and tell us the period. What was your why? When did you start now knowing this is what I want to do? Because I know, yes, you started at 6 years, but I feel like there's a why. You always had a why, and the why started getting realized after you dropped out of the technical university. So I also want to know the timing. I just want to hear about the timing. So maybe you can start by answering the first. In terms of when was it to this time? Maybe tell us that first.
So I think in terms
Time.
in mwaka gani? Yes. But I'm not.
So you started-
I'm very bad with years. So yeah, as I've said, I started.
No, or maybe how old were you? You can
Yeah, so
just-
so I started. As I've said, I started designing solutions when I was around. Kevo. Tunawasikia. Yeah. So I started designing, coming up with innovations when I was around 6 years. I wouldn't call it designing because it wasn't like much of a designing, but just coming up with solutions using technology and as well using resources that were available. Let's say if I wanted to build a product, I wouldn't. There's no way that I would have gone online to look for parts or to get professional advice from people who have been doing this before. So I used to like look around, let's say people that have thrown away batteries, radios that are spoiled, which part can I be able to get from junks to be able to build the solutions that I have. So I remember my room was full of junks, and I remember there's a time my mom wanted to throw them away. It was a big fight. I wouldn't allow. I had this attachment with I think even now when I move houses, I carry things that I do not even use, but I don't throw away electronics, even motherboards that don't even work. And so that was 6 years. I did a lot of solutions that time, and I'll give you a story now. I told you every single challenge that even it doesn't seem that technology is able to solve, I used to solve with technology. I remember when I was like 8 years, so football was very common in my village, and people used to watch football on TV. That time I think KBC, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation used to broadcast TV. We didn't have TV, so you were supposed to pay five shillings, then you watch TV. So since I didn't have that kind of money to be able to watch TV, so I developed a device whereby the moment I turned on that device, the entire village, nobody was able to watch TV. Like all the signals will be. So unless I watch football, nobody else will. So like you see, it's a solution that I developed to be able to help me watch. You see that. So every single thing I read to my junks, I took a transformer, small battery. So the entire school knew that if you touch my locker, you get electrocuted. So like these different problems, but I came up with solutions, always. Now, so that was the mindset, and as well using the available resources. I never used to complain that like I want to build this, but I don't have this. First, I'll come up with a solution, and then look around what is there for me to be able to build what I have. Then after that, I went to high school. So my high school life, I remember when I joined Form 1. So there were a lot of clubs in the high school that I went. So there's drama, there's all these clubs. So there's physics club, and I remember there's something called Science Congress. I think you know Science Congress. So I remember the first project that I took for Science Congress, and everybody was surprised. And in Science Congress, there was a theory, like you just have a concept, but then you practical, like you present a concept that you've built a prototype.
All right, inspiring stories here in Kenya, Mombasa, and here at Swahili Pod. Today we are here at Yali Fest, and I want us to I want you to help me answer this question as educational stakeholder, as a parent, as a student, and as a teacher like myself. Do you think, or are you agreeing with what Maurice was saying, that education is just for storing information and it does not cultivate innovation? Do you agree with that? I'm not hearing you. Do you agree with that? It's there just to store information. There is no this creativity. All right. As a teacher myself, I would say that we are having these programs such as Yali initiatives so that we can be able to tap into our creativity. Yes, at some point, we have failed our students. I am speaking as an educator, by passion and by profession. We are failing our students because the way we are actually training you is just to take this and go and apply in life. We have not made us to be creative. And that's why these programs are there for us to tap into that creativity. And I want to say you something from Maurice's presentation, that You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go far. You don't have other resources. Whatever you have, work with it. All right? Because we have it within ourselves. We are our creativity. So it's just a program like this that helps you to tap into that creativity and come up with something. We always say that we want to get jobs at certain prestigious company or in the government, and that is because our education system has been designed for us to find that the source of or the reason for education is just to be employed, not any other thing. That's why we are here today, even to tell you, you can create anything that you want. Look around, what you have worn, anything, you can come up with something. You can be the one designing these beautiful fabrics that we see. You can be the one coming up with watches that we are wearing. We don't have to go and buy for somebody who has designed it. And that's why today we are here. The story of Nora, that is also an inspirational one. She's a recognized innovator. We are seeing how she actually is also recognized. So for more stories of this, you can go to even the YouTube channels, Mandela, Washington, and RLC, so that you can get inspired and know that what you have, it's within you. You don't have to go far, because this person is just from Mariakani, but right now is known all over Africa, the best and the best innovator in Africa. So we actually have to really learn from this, and after this, it has to be your breakthrough, and it has to be something that has made your mind open, and to say that you do not wait for me to get employed, because I have my hands, I have things that I love, I can transform them into something that is creative and become a well-known innovator. And then again, I also want to give you good news for those who are not young African leader alumni. For the current cohort, that is cohort 57, 58, and 59, the deadline has been extended. So the deadline is on 3rd June 2024. You can still apply, I'm telling you. Even one day, even an hour. It can make you and be part of young African leader alumni. Or you get to experience this experience. You get to taste what it is to have the design thinking. And actually to design the idea that you have. Some of us are doing something very great with our lives, but it's only that we have not gotten the best structure to make it a better one. Because yes, our school has not taught us to be innovative. Our school has not given us the design thinking approach. That's why we are here today, even to guide you for those who aspire to be in this program and also to be in this group of network. And another thing I also want to tell you, we have water and beautiful cups from Miss Baus. And for our environment, ensure that you do not throw those bottles or anywhere. We have beautiful bins also from Miss Baus Taka Enterprise. You can go and put it there so that we can keep our environment clean. Now, we have come to a better and interesting part of it all, whereby we need to engage you, yeah? I'll engage you so that we can know what ideas do you have, what can you bring on the table, and in that idea, how can we build that idea that you have to make it better? That's why today we are going to our program, to our different workshops, whereby they're going to be led by our able facilitators. For the civic education track, we have Shali Mwadime and Biabu Shafi. Yes, that will be, yes, those are our able facilitator for leadership track. Once again, those are actually for entrepreneurship and business. Thank you for that, Biabu, for reminding me. That is actually for entrepreneurship and business. So for those who are interested in business, entrepreneurs, you want to be the best and engage and serve your people, that track is for you. So you will be meeting at Mazrui Hall. It's up there at Mazrui's Hall. And then next we have the civic and the civic education. That is the track that I'm also an alumni. That will be guided or will be facilitated by Abubakar Basba. There he is. Yes. And then also by Nasim. There she is. So they'll be our facilitators. And for those who are interested in becoming a civic leader, you want to serve your community in terms of CBO organization and governmental organization or volunteerism, this is for you. So you will stay here, you will remain in this place. And then we have the last, public management, that is the track, whereby you aspire to be in local government, or in national government, or international government as well, so that you can serve your people. Then this is for you. And your facilitators will be Khadija Abdullah, and Alfred Sigo. Right? Yes, there they are, your able facilitators. And your venue will be Mekatilili Hall. You'll be directed to those places. Now it's up to you to decide, where do I want to thrive in? Do I want to thrive in civic? Do you want to thrive in public? Do you want to thrive in leadership, or rather entrepreneurship? Now the chance is yours for you to choose which track you want to be. Welcome to Yali Fest. Anything for me? Yes? All right. Okay, I repeat the tracks, yeah? In the beginning, I shared what leadership, what Yali does. It does all these 3 tracks. Yeah, we have the civic, whereby it's for those who aspire to serve your people in the CBOs, NGOs, or volunteerism. If you are for community services, for community work, this is civic leader, whereby you will stay here. And then for public, whereby you want to be in the government or in international spaces, your place is Mekatilili. And lastly, for the entrepreneurs and business, for those who aspire to be emerging business people, entrepreneur, you have an innovation, you have something that you feel it needs to be in the market, you have something that you feel this needs to be changed so that it can be a better product in the market, then yours is Mazrui through that particular place. Thank you so much, and welcome to Yali Fest. And be open your mind and your heart, so that you can be able to learn and get out of this place an inspiring and a motivated person. Yes, thank you so much. We can head to our places. All right. The civic, we are all civic leaders. Are you all civic leaders? All right, I'm happy then, yeah? It's my track. For the public ones, the politicians, the public people, where are you? Yeah, and the entrepreneurs, the innovators. Let's head up to the Mazrui, the public. Let us go and settle so that we can also manage our time well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. We were very lucky to be here because of you, you know. Tukiboeka munatubamba, si ndio? Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this track. So we just want to agree on how will be our seating before we start. I want to propose we just use this one, we make it a circle. So, because even this one we can turn, then we will return. Okay. You will bear with me, I'm doing parenting here also. Yeah, so, you know, we had prepared for a very interactive session and not a lecture kind of a session. So we want to request that we only use the first nini, then we'll make a circle so that we can all discuss and be together. The session will be divided into two, or rather three. We will have an introduction session and then briefly tell you about the civic leadership track. But there are two important things that we have agreed we are going to focus on. And as specialties in health, both myself and Nasim, we're going to focus on a very emerging issues that are happening in health right now. Then once after that introduction, we'll move further now to group discussions, just for like 10 minutes. We'll divide each and every one of you into 3 groups, where we'll give you some exciting, interactive questions for you to answer, but in regards to emerging issues that are happening in health. And then finally, we'll have a group leader from your side who will present, so that whatever is there in that group, each and every one of us can learn. And then the last one now is we want at the end of this session to come up with a resolution. So just to make it brief, our main focus of the main emerging issue is climate change in health. Tuko pamoja? Climate change in health. You guys are very much aware of what is happening right now. I'm actually coming from Lamu, and right now you are not able to access Lamu because of climate change. The road has been rampant. There is a lot of flooding that is going on. But that is not only for Lamu. The same has happened in Tana River. There are so many households that have been displaced. There is so many landslide that has happened. So as youth, as leader, what is one resolution that we will need so that at the end, we give this one to the management and even to ourselves as youth leaders on what we need to do. What is the resolution that we need to engage ourselves to mitigate the effect of climate change in health? So with those few remarks, I think my name is Abubakar Baasba. I'm Director Health from Lamu County. I'm also a 2017 Yali Mandela Washington Fellowship alumni under Civic Leadership Track, and was happy to be awarded that following innovations and voluntary work that I do in issues of maternal and child health care. I'll hand over mic to my colleague, and then we'll move forward from there.
Hello, hello. Hi. Can I see your hands up there? Yeah, nice to see all of you. My name is Nasim Jahangir. I work for the county government of Kilifi as a HIV/STI expert. But on the side, if you've read my bio, I run a successful community-based organization. You can check it online. Our website is Connect to Retain as the Chief Executive Officer. And me and Abubakar happen to be in one medical school and happen to be Mandela Washington Fellows, but in different years. I went to Tulane University in 2015 under the same program. And yeah, I think we are so happy to be here and to carry out this session, especially regarding health, climate change, and the emerging issues that we are facing as young people that are affecting the health outcomes and indicators that we have. Yeah, so I think maybe to start on, Dr. Abubakar, you'll tell us more about maybe climate change before we give them a group discussion, bearing in mind that climate change has affected us in many ways, and what I'm so passionate about is in terms of malnutrition Kenya is one of the countries that are facing malnutrition, with 26% of our children having stunting. So you can just think, if you have stunting, then your brain is also stunted. So obviously education will be a problem for you. So over to you, Dr. Abuba.
Thank you so much. She forgot to tell you something, that we also work together in Kilifi. In the same department, same section, same unit, and together with our other colleague, Kelvin Anungo, who is also a 2017 Mandela Washington Fellow. Myself and him and Nasim working together. Please, a big clap for him. He's doing amazing work in Kilifi South. I know the kind of struggle we had with him when we are trying to sort out issues of COVID-19. We moved around Kilifi South, went to Vipingo, to Mpapa, to Chasimba, to just mention all those areas, just to try and make sure that our community do not get affected with COVID-19. So maybe before we get into exactly the topic that we've decided, I know you guys are interested in civic leadership track, right? Sindio? Sindio sababu mmekuja hapa? Ha? Ama sio hivyo? Ha? All right, so that clearly tells us that at least we need to briefly tell you about Yali in general, the kind of programs they do, and focus a little bit. Yali, basically, we all know, stands for Young African Leaders Initiative. It's a program that was formally initiated by the former president of US, Barack Obama, but basically he saw that there are a lot of innovators, a lot of leaders, people with passion in improving and making this world a different place to stay, but they were not having this technical how and resources on how to lead and provide leadership to the community. So once that was founded, it was divided into several programs. At first, it started with Mandela Washington Fellowship. That's the one that started, whereby young leaders are selected through a competitive process. They go to US, they get to network with people in US, get to learn what's happening in US, but also interact with other young African leaders in other countries. I remember from my year, we had close to 23 countries. So imagine a Kenyan interacting with 23 other countries. But then there was a gap that was seen, that si kila mtu ataweza kwenda kule, si ndio? Kuna wengine bado wanahitaji na wana apply na wanakosa hiyo opportunity, so they wanted to extend the coverage for capacity building and making sure that we have leaders in our country. So they introduced something that is called RLC, the one that Amina went. And actually the central point of RLC is actually in Kenya. But this one connects all leaders in the region, East African region, whereby you get to network and do knowledge sharing with other leaders in other countries within Eastern and Central Africa. But hawakustop hapo. Then they said, no, maybe kuna mwingine yuko huko kijijini, hana time ya kutravel kuja huko kwingine. So what they did, they decided to do an online courses. So I can assure you that there are several courses that you can get from Yali website, which you can engage yourself in. Ziko in video form, in reading form, and then after that you get to be given a test. After you have been given a test, if you pass, you are able to get your certificate immediately. I'll be honest with you, despite that I went for Mandela Washington Fellowship, I happened to go to Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, but still I noticed there is something that I want, especially in entrepreneurship. So what I decided is, let me engage myself in online courses of entrepreneurship so that I can also get to learn and have that diverse kind of thinking with regards to civic leadership and entrepreneurship. Let me just share with you a story. Why did I do that? Anyone with an idea? I decided to do that because of something we call sustainability. As simple as that. In as much as I want to help people, in as much as I want to make sure that I provide innovation, but at the end of it all, there has to be sustainability in everything that you are doing. And one of the ways that you can do that sustainability is to incorporate the entrepreneurship into the civic leadership. So that's why I decided to go into that. So I'll bring in my colleague to talk about civic leadership. She's doing some parenting. What is civic leadership? So civic leadership, this is basically, I think Amina has put it very clear and made our work very easy. Here is whereby you want to do things to improve the lives of people through volunteering, mainly. But of course, there are so many other things. So when you get into civic leadership, apart from volunteering, then there is these issues of civic society. Watu kama kina Muhuri, Watu Human Rights Association, Watu, you see, all those data that are coming in. So you provide innovative ideas towards solving problem without putting in business in it, without putting in the public sector. But of course, sometimes you need to intertwine and make sure that all of them are happening together. So basically, civic leadership, that's what usually entails. And there were several topics that we learned. I will share a few that I can remember, then hand over the mic to my colleague to tell me what she can remember. But the one that I remember the most, is leader as a storyteller. Amina, mulifanya hiyo? I love that one. Do you know why I love it? Simu utanisaidia kupeleka mic. What do you think about posting in Facebook? Anyone say anything? Yes? What are people thinking or perception about posting in Facebook or in the other social media? Go ahead, sister.
I think my name is Rachel Kambura. So people post on Facebook for various reasons. Others post because they are social beings. They want people to see their work. Others post for content creation. Others post for marketing. And others post to reach out to the relevant people. For example, the people in charity, they want to reach to the sponsors or just to inspire people to implement the change that they are doing in their various societies. So I do the last one that I was saying.
Nice one. Thank you. So what are other, okay, maybe might not be your perception, but what is a perceived notion on posting in social media? Yes? I think if you can take the mic will be better, Nasim.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Blessing. Okay, anytime that you do something and post on social media, people think that you're showing off.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sawa. I think that's what I wanted. We have another one? Yes?
Hello, I'm Catherine. You know, sometimes when you post on Facebook, actually when you are like a civic leader, you're working with the community, I usually believe that like giving out, it's not a must. You take photos. Because most of the people, you're trying to like demoralize them. You're taking photos of them, you're giving like mostly it's foodstuffs and maybe shopping vouchers. So I think that does not constitute to me. Even if I do the community engagement work at a lot, but I don't take pictures and I post.
Thank you so much. We have another hand here. Then I will need a hand here.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Mulki Hamid. So just to clarify what she said about food stuff, because we have donors. So why we post it on social media? Because we need to the people that donated our stuff, their stuff, so to see that this is the type of thing we are using your money for.
Good. That is transparency, isn't it? Getting to know. There was a final hand from this side. Nice. Okay.
Hey, my name is Adwin Shamir. I think why we post on social media is because we also want to gain visibility from what we do in the community, because I believe the community is bigger than me. So I alone, I cannot solve all those problems. But when I post, people will get to see and know the main reason why they need to donate and support the community. Thank you.
Publicity, very critical. So just one hand from here. Okay, we have one there, then we'll be done. I think after this, we'll have to end it there because of time.
Hello. My name is Frederick. Okay, according to me, the reason why we post on social media platform is just to get some kind of attention, or like being a role model. You express what you are able to do, your capability.
Inspiring others. So basically, that topic, I like it because of what my sister has said. There is a big notion that when you post in social media, you are trying to show off. Sindio? But I think we agreed that we will co-parenting as well. Sindio? Huh? But the thing is, there was a whole topic, and actually it took a whole day, talking about leader as a storyteller. So I'll just leave you with one mark for you to go and think about it. If we did not know story of Jesus, if we did not know story of Muhammad, will we still be believing in them now? Tuko pamoja, eh? But there was someone who told us their story. There was a way that even during their time, there was no social media, but there is a way that they could tell the story of what Muhammad is doing and what Jesus is doing for others to know that this is the track that I'm for and this is the track that I'm not for. Isn't it? So that's the thing. I'll bring in my colleague to briefly talk about any other topic that you find it interesting, and then now we can shift into climate change and health.
Thank you, Doc. So I think that was quite inspiring, and you got to understand what the Civic Leadership Track does. For me, what's important is always tell your story. Don't shy away. It's the only way I can remember. For me to remember you, I'll remember your story. So tell your stories in any form you want to tell your stories. Swahili Pot tells their story in culture. They tell their stories in photography. One of my highlights too, tell your story. I think the other lesson we learned is how to become an impactful leader. For me, Mandela Washington Fellowship was a turning point for everything, my career, my life, everything. After I came back to Kenya and started my program, the Connect to Retain, I think I've never been that ambitious than ever before. So I urge you, even if you've done the East African, apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. It gives you even an upper hand. So let's go for these opportunities. The best opportunities for being a Mandela Washington Fellow, you get to also receive opportunities. Like my organization has run a program by US Embassy for 6 years. It's called Access Program, where I teach English to students in Form 2 and Form 3. The program currently is running at Hadija Secondary and Freetown. So if you visit those schools, they'll tell you there's an access program happening. We've done it in Kwale, we've done it in Kilifi. So you get to get opportunities. If you are a CSO and you've been a Mandela Washington Fellow or a Yali, any program that you've been to, you can apply for these opportunities. And trust me, you'll always have an upper hand than someone who hasn't gone through them. So I think quickly, let's have our presentations. We'll divide you into groups. I'm sorry, some of the sessions might be a bit tricky because it's about health, but I'm sure there's someone called Google and there's someone called Power of Partnership. So we'll divide you into groups, and we have different topics that are affecting us currently as young people and affecting holistically, economically, everything. So we need to have 5 minutes, 10 minutes discussions into groups, then have your leaders present, and then we can have a way forward from what we have discussed.
Thank you, Nasim. I think you have wrapped up so well. So now we're getting into innovations. We want ideas. And, sote hapa tuko adult. I'm sure even ourselves here, even if we are Mandela Washington Fellows, there is a lot that we can learn from you. So as you're aware that actually it is estimated by 2050, close to 14 million people will die because of climate change, effects that are being brought because of climate change. Just this month, Kenya has reported more than 230, that is adding into 14 million people that are going to die by the year 2050. Lamu alone, 300 households currently have been displaced, and close to 600 families have nowhere to stay. All this is because of the ongoing floods that are there that has been brought by heavy rains. So, what are we going to do as youth? Which innovations are we going to put in that are related to civic leadership for us to mitigate the effect of climate change? So we will, like what Nasim has said, we'll divide into 3 groups, and then we'll have someone who will present to all of us some of the innovative things that are going to be done. So we have 3 questions. If you have your pen and a paper, please, unaweza chukua, ukaandika. We didn't want it to be like a lecture kind of class. We thought if we have it this way, it will be more interactive, more ideas are going to be shared. So group 1.
I think let's have 4. They are quite a big number.
All right.
So, yeah. Boundary between Kenya and Tanzania.
So Nasim, itabidi tufikirie swali ya 4 itakuwa ni gani, lakini I'm sure we will get it. We are leaders and we are bound to handle any emergency, any innovation that is needed. So number 1 is, so group 1, we've agreed it's this one. So this is what you're going to tackle. How has extreme weather affected the general health of the human? We know that climate change is all about changes in the climatic conditions. It can be heavy rains, it can be landslide, it can be drought, it can be even the cyclone. Which cyclone have we had just 2 weeks ago? Huh? Hidaya, na ingine ni gani? Lali. Sindio? So climate change is with us now. So now this brings to the group 3. Let me shift huku na huku. So we already have climate change. So group 3, what do you need to do to help communities stay healthy with the ongoing, I'm coming, don't worry, with the ongoing climate change happening? So what do you need to do as a young leader to help communities stay healthy with the climate change happening? Tuko pamoja? Then group 2. You know, this is intentional, to make sure that you concentrate what I'm saying. Usifikirie mimi nimetoka hapa nitakuja hapa straight, amina. Nilienda kule, sasa nimekuja kwenu. So for group 2, we'll want to hear your ideas. Share with all of us on issues of what are the little things that you can do as a young leader to make big difference, not a small one. It has to be a very big difference in dealing with climate change. I will recap. What little things can you do as a young leader to make a big difference in dealing with climate change? And then finally, group 4.
So it happened that we have to come up with the 4th question, and I have it. So for group 4, how are we experiencing climate injustice? And how is it affecting our health? And you as a leader, you can just put 2-3 points on how we can mitigate climate injustice.
And then, by the way, when we come and sit here, will then all of us come up with a resolution that we will submit to the organizers of this conference and tell them that on issues of climate change, this is the resolution that we have made, and we want it actionable. Sawa? So number 1, it was How has extreme weather affected the general health of human? Then number 2, it was what little things can you do as young leader to make a big difference in dealing with climate change? Number 3, we are already in climate change. We have had floods, we have had cyclone, we have had landslide just this month. So what do you need to do to help community stay healthy with climate change happening? And number 4,
so climate injustice. How has climate injustice affected the health of Kenyans, and what is our role as youth? What can we do to mitigate the issues of climate injustice?
Fair enough. It's now, I think, so it's
11:42.
11:42. So we'd like you to take 10 minutes, and then presentation will be 2 minutes, 2 minutes each, and then we come up with a resolution and we'll be done with our session. Does it sound good?
I think it will be fair enough if this time we can invite some questions, because I feel maybe you'll have questions regarding what is said about the civic leadership. You know, we didn't tackle everything, but I think if you're able to answer anything related to civic leadership or health, then we'll be happy to get some questions from you guys. After the 10 minutes. So your time starts now.
Perfect. 10 minutes discussion, and then we'll have 10 minutes presentation, then another 10 minutes for question and answer session.
I'm not sure, some of us do well, and in music, like when the music is playing. So since we are privileged to be here, can the band do something for us? And actually, I love the lady's voice, and they sing between her and the guy. And I don't know if you noticed, the bars was coming from this side, and then the softer sound was gender equality, so towards voices. That was very impressive. So kindly, if you can give us one song, something slow, or sindio yenye itachangamsha akili, yenye unaweza tumia wakati unasoma.
kusonga mbele, nirudi nyuma, sijielewi. Haya mapenzi ya fujo hayafai.
Jaribu baby, mambo ya kunifanya kumbafu haifai, mambo haifai. Jaribu baby, kusonga mbele, haya mapenzi ya fujo hayafai. Kama unanipenda jaribu kunipa raha. Haya mapenzi ya fujo hayafai. Kama unanipenda jaribu kunipa raha. Jaribu baby. Jaribu baby, jaribu baby. Kama unanipenda jaribu kunipa raha. Haya mapenzi ya fujo hayafai. Kama unanipenda jaribu kunipa raha. Haya mapenzi ya fujo hayafai. Kama unanipenda jaribu kunipa raha.
So we are doing well. We actually have 6 minutes. 6 minutes remaining. We have 2 minutes remaining, but I'm happy I've gone through all the groups and you are tackling exactly what we wanted.
Are we ready? By show of hands, are we ready? We are, huh? So I hope hizo hoja zenye umeandika chair lady ama chairman anaweza kuzisoma, eh? Ama labda yeye ndo amezisoma, si ndio? So as we wrap up, let's wrap up and come back to our sitting position, kwa sababu tumekula time ya wenyewe.
All right, I think tunaweza koma hapo, musijali. This is an adult learning. We are not doing exam or interviews. This is just an opportunity for us to learn, but most important, ignite our brains on issues of climate change. I can tell you for fact, when I was given this topic, I had to research climate change ni nini? What's the chemistry behind it? What's the history about it? So I'm happy that I could see similar discussion and questions being asked when I was moving around. So we will...
And actually, climate change, if you're a CSO, think of it, think of your organization towards climate action. It's the new thing, eh? So kama unafanya mradi wowote, kumbuka kuingiza climate action, because we are all diverting our funds, our attention to climate action. So it's just something that we are also thinking with Dr. Basba, that hii climate action, paka tulipoambiwa tukasema sasa hawa wametuangalia wakaona sisi ni madaktari alafu wanatuambia tu discuss climate action. Wana nini? Lakini tukaona climate action ina affect kila kitu, si ndio? Kwa hivyo it's very important that we make it, tuifanye shida yetu, tuifanye hoja yetu.
Na tumekuweza kuona a lot of opportunities that we can tap. She asked me one question. Do you know that climate change can affect maternal health? So I hope I'll get that answer from here. Sindio? So without wasting time, like we said, now we have only 2 sessions remaining. We'll have presentation, 2 minutes only. And then after that, we'll discuss, we'll have question and answer session. But then finally, what is one resolution? One, just one. How are we going to package it? Tuwapatie organizer, kwamba with regards with civic leadership on issues of climate change, this is our resolution. Pap, let's do something about it. Sawa? So we'll start with group 1, then go to group 2, then go to group 3, and then finally group 4. Tumefahamikiana? So 2 minutes. So naomba watu wawili, mmoja ambao kwamba atatupatia timekeeping. Exactly after 2 minutes, mtu ana timekeeping? Good. Na mwingine atatuchukulia notes ambao kwamba tutazisubmit.
Rapporteur.
Rapporteur basically.
Wapi?
Nice. Thank you. Haya, group 1, uwanja ni wako.
We should be able to have the notes, please, in summary. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. Guy, I'm Wonge. Mnanisikia? Okay. My name is Stacy Biwat from Group 1, and our question was how has extreme weather affected the general health of the people? We brought in different points. So at first we said before there was illnesses, but when due to these extreme weather conditions, it has worsened the condition, and it has also brought in new health issues. So summarizing it, we have point 1 as one of the extreme weather was heat waves. The heat waves has brought into related illness, where we have the elderly, the young kids having a problem with that comes with the heat waves. Under that, we discussed about the heat. My time was taken. Okay. So we said about the heat-related illnesses, which we discussed about the elderly and the young due to that heat rashes, and we also have chronic illness conditions, maybe like the asthma, when it affects the air, so that it really affects those people who have asthma. That brings in the chronic conditions, and also the mortality rate, which we've been given points here with the pregnancy issue. And we brought in points, like in 2003 in Europe, there was a lot of high mortality due to that problem of the heat waves. And then our point 2 came in due to flooding. Under flooding, we discussed injuries and drowning. We've been affected by drought in our country less than a month ago. Yeah, so we know what the major impacts that came in, the injuries and drowning, and also we have waterborne diseases that comes with the contaminated water. The stagnant water has brought in the waterborne diseases, and again, mental health comes in. I was telling my group, if I'm in Nairobi and I have a family in Mombasa, and I know this problem that comes with mental health, this one, so it cuts across the whole country. It's not even in one place. So we have storms and hurricanes. When there is storms and hurricanes, it brings in a lot of displacement. We heard of the Hidaya thing. Definitely, the strong wind will maybe carry your houses. It will displace people. Such kind of problems comes in. Again, it also cuts mental health. As my point, if I'm in Nairobi, I have a family member in Kisumu, somewhere else where they're affected. It cuts across the country. It also cuts across international wise. So we have wildfires, maybe in times where, sorry, my time is up. He took my time. I only have 1 point. Okay, fine, thank you. So wildfires arises in, it brings in respiratory problems, like those smoke from the wildfires brings in those issues like asthma, bronchitis, and other lung diseases. And also, again, it cuts in mental health, which I've broadly discussed about that. And my final point is drought. Definitely, if we don't have water in our environment, it brings in, like, we can't have, our plantations can't grow. We can't have the products to take to the industry. Definitely, it will affect those parts that they can't have good climatic conditions where we can transport our foods. So yeah, we have that drought coming in. Sorry? Oh, we have also industrial problems. So I think we have a major point that is in about. I think my time is done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A big clap for her. I think they've done quite well. So we'll go to group 2, but basically I think cutting point ni kwamba there is a lot that is happening with our health as far as climate change is concerned. She's talked about the heat, and I can explain about the heat. Sahi kila mtu hawezi lala bila fani, si ndio? Stima ikizima unalala? Ni either unatafuta fan ama unatafuta AC. Lakini sasa swali langu ni, je, wale vulnerable, the poor one, who doesn't have fun, who doesn't have nini? What does that mean? It means climate change affects them more than other people. She's talked about nutrition, how feeding is affected, plants zinaharibika, wanyama wanakufa, chakula inapungua. She's talked about dehydration. There is also about issues of physical injuries that are there. watu wanaumia, watu wanavunjika. There is also issue, maybe just to add, on human to wildlife conflict. Actually, sasa hivi sisi, I am forced as Director Health to look for antivenom. Ile maji imeenda the buffaloes wanaingia kwa manyumba. That's what climate change has done for us. And so many other things. I don't know, we can now go to group 2. Group 2.
Hello everyone. I'll be talking about the little things we'll be doing as young leaders to okay, kusaidia kukabia climate change. So the first point we were talking about creating awareness through workshops or cleaning, i.e. beach cleaning. Yeah, so tuna create awareness kwa watu wa mtaani, vile utapata watu wanaenda beach wanakula mgoka, wanatupa hizo vitu kwa bahari. So that to some extent affects somehow pollute the environment. The other point is educating people on proper waste segregation, i.e. plastic. Hapa kuna hiyo like watu wakichoma hizo makaa, huo moshi ukienda, to some extent it affect the ozone layer, leading to global warming. Na hiyo global warming to some extent ina affect the temperatures hapa kwa nini, making it unfavorable for people sisi hapa ambao tunaishi hapa. So we have the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. The other point is afforestation, planting more trees, and looking at our cultures. Nyingine pia ni through education, integrating climate change with academic. Yeah, kuna hiyo mambo na CBC, educating these students. So, alafu the other point ni coming up with community projects in local environmental initiatives. And also innovation and entrepreneurship, supporting youth startups, i.e. kama hapa tuko na hii Baustaka enterprise yenye ambayo ina serve the cause of climate, of reducing, kutuchafua environment. So as leaders, we could support them. Alafu, through how are we going to support people like them, Baustaka? We could sensitize government to support them or to include them in creating and implementing policies. The other point is sensitize people through cultures, i.e. art, music, and the last point is leading by example.
Thank you so much. I feel like 2 minutes is unfair. I love your points. But climate change, people take how many days in these summits when they go to Paris to discuss? They take weeks, they take days. Na sisi tunachukua only 10 minutes. So we're still valid, right? So group 3, are you ready? Group 3, are you ready? Yeah, so I think from their points we can carry home that we have a big role. And actually, I think the use of little things, those are not little things. The things that we can do and can have an impact in our environment. So let's take up the role. Are you as a young person, wakati umekunywa maji na chupa uko ndani ya matatu ya kwenda Barsheba, at least I know Barsheba, ikishaisha unairudisha kwa handbag ama unaangalia pale ka window na tupa taa, so unaitupa tu kwa dirisha. So you're are you a role model? We start with the little things. As how are we also acting as young people? Thank you. So group 3, so there are 2 minutes starts now. Your microphone is off.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Amida Said, Yali alumni, cohort 52, group 3 member. So our question we are discussing about, what do you need to do as a young leader to help communities stay healthy with the climate change happening? So according to our group, we came up with both long-term and short-term strategies. So because of time, I'm just going to read through. So we've decided that we are going to do
humanitarian actions such as fundraising for food, sanitary towels, volunteering to do the mental health awareness sessions, and also refer the vulnerables to mental health psychosocial support. We also came up with social media advocacy, whereby we will be creating awareness on the emergency toll-free numbers to use and the safety precautions measures and other mitigation sessions, including coming up with mobile nurses so as to reach the maternal mothers in their community. And also one of the other medication sessions, we've decided also to come up with teachers who will be moving mobiles to these families that are affected and they cannot be able to access their schools. Also, we decided to come up with the advocate for green space in the community level, that is, i.e. doing the kitchen garden, and also creating place for the outbreak of other diseases such as cholera. Also, not forgetting awareness creation and education through health campaigns at the community level that will help mitigate some of the issues, health issues that can come up as a result of the climate changes that's affecting the community. And also governance. As a young leader, we need to raise our voices for accountability of the money used for relief, whereby we come up with some of the sustainability actions so as to continue to be able to survive as people in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hizo zinaitwa hoja zilizoshiba, pregnant and expectant. Hoja zilizoshiba, si ndio? So I think I love the part where you have mobile teachers and mobile doctors and mobile nurses. Like currently there are some schools that have been locked, si ndio? Zina host watu. Tungekuwa ni rahisi kupeleka watu 5 kuliko kuchukua kijiji kizima, si ndio? So you pick maybe, and as youth we can volunteer to do this. She is a teacher, maybe she's not, let's say, on her free time or on her leave. She can volunteer to go uko sijui ni wapi kwenye uko ndani aseme leo acha nifundishe hii class ya biology ama chemistry. We can play a role, si ndio? If you're a nurse and maybe you're on leave, or you can volunteer your services, so for short terms. Yeah, so I think we're doing well, and we have the last group that was dealing with climate injustice. I think the reason why I came up with that discussion is because I feel mnaamini kuwa kuna siku moja tutaweza kuwa sawa kweli kwa hii dunia? Kuna usawa kweli? Na tutawahi fikia usawa? Tutaifikia usawa kweli? So maybe we'll have that discussion, lakini mimi naona usawa unahitaji a lot of things. Inahitaji watu waache kuwa selfish. Kwa sababu yani tumeanza kitambo kwa na usawa. So let's see what climate injustice is bringing. So group 4. Thank you. Finally there's a gentleman. Clap for them. Wanawake mmetawala tawala. Group 1, group 2, group 3. So finally there's gender inclusivity. Tutawateka nyara wanaume. Tumechangamka.
Hello. Yes, my name is Hassan Hersi, and I'm representing group 4. Kama venye Nasima amesema, the girl child is overtaking us, so we had to represent. Sindio? Tualisema girl empowerment is killing the boy child. Ama nini? Mnakubaliana? Okay, adding on to what we were tackling in our group about climate injustice. Like Nasima said, hatuwezi kuwa sawa na it will take a long time before tukuwa sawa sisi wote. So climate injustice inakuja in form of like we have disproportionate impacts on climate change. Like the way we are affected is not the way a third world country is being affected. Sindio? We have a third world country who iko na mitigations proper za could deal with matters to do with climate change, but we have a country like Kenya, a developing country, in which matters with climate change inatuaffectena sana. So how are these injustices coming along? We have things to do with the geographical disparities, whereby, like I've said, developing countries are better equipped to handle climate change than us in the world, like third world countries are in a better position to handle climate change than us in developing countries. We also have matters to do with economic factors, where poor communities are suffering a lot as compared to rich communities. Ndio tuko na our rich neighborhood, we have the likes of kina Yali, then tukivuka hapo tuko na Bombolulu hapo, ndio. So you can see that disparity. Obviously the poorer community in Bombolulu will be faced by hizo, ukienda huko utapata kuna congestion, so kuna mambo na diseases, there are cholera outbreaks and such, but you utipata Nyali, si ndio? Because they are richer community and they are better equipped and they are better planned to handle these things. And we also have social and racial inequalities. We have indigenous communities wenye wanakaa, pardon? Time. Yes. Yeah, I was saying I'm confused. Indigenous, yes, social and racial inequalities. We have indigenous people who live in areas that are prone to hazards. Ndio? Like watu wenye wanakaa kwa hills wenye wako prone to landslide and such. Tunapata hiyo climate change in our hit different than the way ina hit wengine wenye wamekaa kwa areas that are well planned. Ndio? And to finish up on the matters we discussed on what you can do as youths, those are general points. Nimesikia most of you wamezitaja, things to do with creating awareness, nini public participation. Sijasikia mtu amesema as youth we have a voice, so we should voice our action. And also the CBOs we have, like I come from Kilifi, and Kilifi has a lot of CBOs that I've noticed, and they are all changed through climate action. We have youths taking action in developing proposals and writing grants to get funds so that they can able to mitigate this climate change in their community. Sawa sawa. So with those few remarks, thank you to my group for entrusting me with this noble duty to represent you. Asanteni.
Thank you so much. That has been a very interesting session, and that was well tackled. Hersi, I think I've seen you on Facebook. Now, the importance of having a Facebook. I haven't met him one-on-one, but the name sounds familiar, and I think you're the one. You follow my organization, right? And you're very active. Yeah, thank you for that. So now you see what we were saying. When you tell your stories, you get to know people. Unakutana na mtu, si hawa watu ambao maceleb. Unakutana na mtu ambaye anaweza anakujazia. Si ndio? You cannot pour on from an empty cup. So I think we've come to the end of the discussions. I want us to give ourselves a hearty clap, a well-organized one. Sijui tutafanya gani yenye, sijui kama kuna mtu ana idea, lakini makofi mazuri. Yani tujipatie ile inaitwa 4-3 to 1. Hiyo ni ndefu. 3 to 1. Sawa?
321 claps.
321 claps. So tupashe mikono yetu, pasha. Let's start. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think we will go straight to question and answers unless there is a very burning point from the discussions. What we need to do is, as much as possible, let's do something, the little you can. I always say, even if you help one person, it is a milestone. You don't have to help the whole world. Hold that one person, and I think utakuwa umefanya kazi kubwa. So saa ingine watu tunasema, unajua sina uwezo, mimi ni youth, hata ndo bado na hustle, siwezi. But as I said, you can decide to just teach a class. You can decide to just volunteer. The little things we do can have an impact. And so I think, maybe question and answer.
I think now we can go to question and answer. If you have anything you'd like to ask us to get to know more about Civic Leadership Track or more about climate change, if it is ideas, I think we have already presented. So the floor is on you. And then we'll have 2 minutes, the end, now to discuss on the resolution. So, but now let's give an opportunity for question and answer session.
Thank you. My name is Rachel. My name is Rachel Kambura, and I'm a teacher, and I've just learned that I can use my skills and profession to help. So thank you very much. My question is, as Yali and Mandela Washington Fellows. Are there any policies that you've effected in this country or just anywhere in Africa about, let's say, climate change? For example, you guys are working in the county, so are there any specific policies? Because some of the times with a law or a bill, then sometimes all our efforts just become hot air, as people in politics say. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I can talk about Lamu. We last year drafted and even enacted an act of Lamu County government. We call it Climate Change Action 2023. Luckily, we managed to involve all the stakeholders, including the Yali fellows that are there, the youth. Like we have Lamu Youth Assembly that is there, that took part in it to draft, and then finally even the governor signed to sign it into law that we are currently using it. There are also projects on climate smart that are coming up, dealing both the mitigation effect of climate change, but also what are some of the things that we can do to improve on the health of the people with the ongoing climate change effect that are being expressed. So there is, and I know that I'm not quite sure when it was enacted, but even at the national level, we have a Climate Change Act that is there to guide us on what needs to be done. But you know, it should not only end there, and that is where we have a big problem with Kenya. We create policies, we create these laws, we create so many other things, but then now implementation becomes a very big problem. So I think this is why this topic is so crucial. We discuss it now, so that we have people like you, we have all the young leaders that are here, teachers, doctors, engineers, all of them coming to implement the policies and the laws that have been put in place as far as climate change is concerned. We even have treaty that Kenya has accepted.
We are part of different treaties, but again, I think we're not really doing a lot. So like we are doing the Kyoto Treaty, we're doing the Paris Agreement. Kenya is part of all those. So we give commitments, but when it's time to go review how much we've done, we still have gaps. So I think it's because I feel the youth have a lot of powers in policy influencing, because we got the knowledge, we got the impact and the influence, and we are close to these leaders. So if we support in, I think advocacy and a lot of policy influencing, just go reach out to a leader out there and tell them what you feel as a young person. So if I'm to share about Kilifi, my organization has been working on menstrual health management policy for Kilifi County government. And I've been able to, I think it's on the process of the last review before it's being launched. And we're looking at how a girl child will go to any public place and find a place where they can throw their pad, wash their hands, and even like wanaweza jinawisha haraka na akatoka akaenda. But most of the times you are on your periods and you're in town, and the toilet is just not friendly for you. You don't have a place to throw your pad, you don't have a place to wash your hands. So we're advocating for such things. And unless we talk about them, no one will talk about them. So I think we are really doing well. As much as Kenya is a country that does a lot of policies, implementation, they still say we don't have enough resources to ensure that they happen. But as youth, we have a big role to ensure that this happens.
And this actually calls for we as youth to come up with some of the innovative ideas. And I'm telling you for fact, right now there are a lot of funding with regards to climate change. And you can put it in any way. If it is in education, where Amina is, I'm sure you can do something with climate change. If it is in health, we've just proven to you, even maternal health. Nasim just reminded me, if you watched the news last week, you could see a pregnant mother being carried from an ambulance into a kidau just because there is a flood. I personally lost 3 people in the first phase of the flooding. One was a pregnant mother, another one was a child with asthmatic condition. Just because there was a flood, he could not move. And a mainland was turned into an island that he could not cross to the other side. If it is in engineering, the same. So it is for us youth to see. And by the way, most of the things that are in policy are in favoring us, the youth. So ni sisi kuamka na kuhakikisha tumeweza kufanya nini? Kuhakikisha hizo vitu zimekuwa implemented. I think
I have two questions to the two of you. You've talked about the climate change action that you've passed. What does it say about speaking to the issues of gender imbalances and injustice in terms of climate change affecting the gender injustice and imbalances? And number two, since you're in the health space, that ecosystem, what are some of the current innovations that you've interacted that maybe we can leverage on as probably some of us who are leading in the CSO space?
I think I can take up the second question. So I think we're getting better with telemedicine, and we want the marginalized community to embrace telemedicine, where I think we have some centers that have call centers where you can call and consult a doctor on something that you're going through, and they can also give you a diagnosis from where you are and do a prescription for you so that you can reach out to a pharmacist nearby for help. That will make you not come to the facility. And then the other innovation, I'm a HIV expert. In Kilifi County, I do something called community RT groups, where I mobilize young people who are living with HIV from where they come from. So a good example, I have one satellite at Kikambala. They meet in a church. So what I do, I get someone to take their RVs for them. So in a year, I calculated they were saving around 12,000. That was helping them save it instead of coming to the facility. So those are the innovations we can do. One person can go, give the services, take a weighing scale, taking a BP machine, all the things that you need. Then go meet that family of people who are living with HIV, give them that service, then just come back home alone. So if you look at you saving cost of travel for 20 people who will come to the facility, spend the whole day there because of the line, the workflow, it becomes easier. So these are some of the innovations that we're having, but there are more that are there.
We've even decided for Lamu to put it in public sector, and actually as the Director Health, who is overseeing all the public facilities, there are three things that we've decided to do. Number one is on renewable energy. We're actually putting up proposals, some are even ready, that we change from the use of KPLC energy into solar energy. So like we have identified some facilities and we've classified them into the small facility, the middle class facility, and even we're even thinking, because right now we're even looking at the expenditure that will come in with setting up even at the county referral hospital. Already for the smaller facilities, we were able to get a grant as a public institution, and we installed solar in 2 dispensaries. Another way that we want to put in is keeping our facility green. You know, always when you go to any public facility, there is always a garden or there is always a ground. Si kanyumba tu kama ile ya Kiswahili. Sindio? So now we put in policy or rather instructions to facility in charges to enhance keeping the environment green. And you know, it's not only will not only help in beautification, but also mitigating the issues of climate change. And the third one that we have not started, but we hope that we'll also get some fundings or proposal from it, is use of biogas. There is a lot of biological waste that are coming from the hospital, both in terms of human waste and in terms of other waste, medical waste that are coming in that can be degraded and produce a biogas, including placentas. We know what placentas are, right? Yeah. So right now, what is happening? They just get dumped into a placenta pit, while we can use that, undergo biodegradation and produce biogas, which can be used to produce gas that will be used to cook in the hospital kitchen. So those are some of the innovations that we have. Back to question one. I'm not very much familiar into details of the Climate Change Action Act 2023, but I remember putting in inclusivity. So one of the things that is there is not only for the women and the youth, but even for the people living with disability. I know that that has been captured perfectly well. But there is also a section that is talking about engaging youth, especially for Lamu on issues of mangrove tree. Mangrove is one of the products that people use to sell it. It's actually even exported. So how are we going to still maintain that economical benefit to the community, but at the same time not degrading the environment as far as mangrove trees is concerned?
Yeah,
Sorry?
I think,
yes, there is a fund
Dr.
for
Basba, I
it.
think we will take lunch is ready. Can we have 2 or 3 only? Maybe 1 for each group. Is that okay? You don't have, so you can do 2 here, 1. Is that fair enough? How many have a smartwatch? So that's one of the innovations we have in health. Internet of Things. Memsikia Mbeta, mwenye anatoka Kilifi County. I'm so proud of him. If you have hypertension, you're able to monitor yourself using just a wristwatch. And you'll see today, 150/120, and you'll call Dr. Basba, hey, today my BPs are misbehaving, and he'll send you an ambulance. You don't need to run to a dispensary for a BP to be checked. You just use your Internet of Things. So things are getting better. So 1 question from here, 1 and then 2, because there were quite a number. So who had lifted?
Hello, how are you? My name is Mbogo. I think there's one point we are missing about climate change. That the problems we are facing, the floods, the hurricanes, the diseases we are getting, people out there, they are getting opportunities to innovate things that will prevent those disasters. But here in our country, we get a flood today in Budalangi, and the same flood will affect those people the next year. We sit down, we don't do anything. Any disaster, even at home, you get a little problem at home. That problem is supposed to be a wake-up call for you to do something to prevent it the next time. So, like, if you look at Mombasa, every household has a septic tank. We don't have a sewage management. We can't do recycling. Every household has a septic tank. You can think about after there is a lot of floods and all the septic, they rise up, what will happen? I have never seen any master plan from the county government of Mombasa as far as maybe the area of Bamburi. This is the area that we have set apart for recycling the waste so that we can have a sewage system. I have never seen a master plan even for Yali. Everyone has a septic. So I don't know what happens with our government. Remember, county government, the government is devolved. So all the services are supposed to come to us where we are. I remember in the 90s, the government planners used to come to every household. They'll come to your land and tell you this is the place, they'll do the soil testing. They tell you this is the place for you to plant the maize, this is the place to plant the potatoes, and this is the place to do a kitchen garden. The latrine is supposed to be on this place. But right now, we have county governments devolved everywhere, but you don't see services. We just elect MCAs and they go to the parliament. No one comes to us to ask, what do you want us to do for you? So every day we'll cry about the climate change, but we are doing nothing about it. Thank you.
I agree, my brother. Mnakumbuka ile clip, I think he deserves a clap. Please, give him a round of a clap. You remember kuna mama hata akapatiwa tenda na Safaricom. Serikali, saidia. Mnakumbuka huyo mama? Alifanya mwaka uliopita, kisha watu wa news akaenda, pia wakamfanyia, still on issues of flood. Then the 3rd year, pia akakuja kanini. So things keep on repeating. And I also want to agree with him, even at home, that's what even ourselves individual are doing. Kumenyesha mvua, unaona kuna vuja.
I agree. There's one question here. I totally agree we need to do something about what we say we will do and we don't do. Where was the hand here?
Okay, Dr. Bakar mentioned something about civic leadership going hand in hand with entrepreneurship. So my question is, let's say I'm going for the NGO setup. How am I going to incorporate entrepreneurial aspect there so that haikai ya kuwa nataka benefit from it?
So she's asking that while you're doing civic leadership, you're also interested in entrepreneurship. So how does she, like, where does she cross the line that I am a civic leader, but again, I also want to engage in entrepreneurship without people thinking that I want to benefit?
Excellent. My sister, I will welcome you to go and research on social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship, whereby you're doing some things to sustain the demands of your activities that you are doing, and not.
Mnataka tuende lunch? Mnatuzimia mic.
Mimi ndio nime. All right. So there is something called social between the business aspect and the social aspect of Nini, and mainly is to have sustainability measures so that those activities can also run. Thank you.
Yeah. Mine is not such as a question, but I needed also to answer what sister asked and my brother here on the policies. As you can remember, on 24th to 25th of August,